Hello from the collaboration space. I'm your host, Nancy Lucier of AVI STL. And today we're going to be talking about creating consistent, effortless experiences across all of your spaces. And joining me for this discussion is Brian Dunat of Neat. Welcome, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, thanks, Nancy. I'm doing great. It's great to be on here today. So looking forward to this conversation.
Great, me too. And for those who haven't met you, Brian, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Neat?
Sure. So once again, Brian Dunat, I'm the Director of Technical Sales for the Americas. So I head up our solution engineering team all across the Americas. So I've been with Neat now 4.5 years, which is kind of incredible when we think about how fast this time has gone. So have been here from the beginning all the way up until its current state. So it's really exciting to be here today with you guys.
Great, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. So let's dive right in. What
Sure.
makes the neat experience consistent across all of our spaces?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to just really the design around our form factors. When you think about our neat products, right? Like we have our boards and we have our 32 inch, our 50 and our 65-inch board. So it's the same touch screen. So our customers are familiar with that. And then our bars, right? So when we think about like the bar Gen 2, the bar Pro, really it's a consistent look and feel across the rooms. And then what our users are really experiencing is the neat pad experience because that's ultimately kind of where they walk in, they invite the room, they click join, they're in the meeting, right? And then you kind of let like our neat devices and the secret sauce that runs on them really do the magic of providing a great meeting experience. So I think that's, in my opinion, that's really what kind of makes that experience consistent. Um, so hopefully that's helpful.
Yes, and it sounds like it's really easy too, right? Like you walk
Yeah.
in, you press that pad, and it just works. And I think that's what people are looking for, right?
Yeah, and I think, if I think about, I've been in this industry for a long time. You can see the gray hairs here. So we've been part of this where we've done things where we've kind of over-engineered the rooms, right, for our end users, thinking what they might want. Where I might need room controls, I might need lighting controls, I might need projector controls. The reality is a lot of times when we sit down and we just ask the end users, it's like I just need to walk in and I need to click join and I need to be able to join that meeting. Because the reality is, if we overcomplicate that room, what ends up happening is everybody's become accustomed to joining calls from their laptop. That's really our biggest competition is we need to make the room experience as easy as it is to join a meeting from your laptop, because that's what we all do, right? We just hop on whatever we have on our Mac or a Windows PC and we join the Teams call, or Zoom call or Google Meet call, whatever, right? So that's really what we aim for is to make that as simple as possible. And then it lends itself to the next thing, which is, hey, every meeting usually has content in some source, right? So how do I share content? And we want that to be very simple, right? Whether that's a cable connected to a laptop or we want to use some wireless sharing technology that's built into any of the native meeting platforms that we run, or even something that we're coming out with here with Neat Open. So we really try to make that as simple as possible so that really you don't have to train the users. They just instinctively walk in and know what to do because it's just that easy.
So it's set it and forget it is what it sounds
Yep.
like. And I like that you mentioned the different platforms because I know I'm in at least 2 or 3 platforms a day, and probably many of our listeners are as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we've covered the experience in the room, but we know
Yeah.
today most of our meetings are hybrid. So how does Neat extend that experience, that same experience to the remote participant?
Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes down to what we've been doing since the beginning of the company. And that's really around kind of our AI and our machine learning technology that runs on our devices. So when we started the company, we really wanted to bring that meeting equity experience to those remote participants. And I think when we think about the meeting experience as a remote person, right? When you're on there and conversations are happening in the room and you kind of have the big panned out room shot of everybody, it's really hard to follow along, right? And instinctively, it's just human nature. I think we're all guilty of it. As soon as somebody turns and you're looking at the side of their head, like if I'm looking this way talking and you're looking at the side of my head, after a period of time, you start to tune out, right? And all that results in is wasted meeting minutes. So a lot of what we've been doing here at Neat is thinking about like how do we continue to take what we've built with our AI and machine learning and extend it to multiple devices in a room. And that we were able to do with our Neat Center. And we started that with just one device. But the concept there is, regardless of what you're doing, we don't want you to think about being in the room, right? And like, oh, I got to change the camera controls or I have to do something. We want you to just act natural and let our devices actually frame and follow you as you're looking around. And when you're changing that view to different devices in the room, then we're capturing the best view of you as a person as well as the best audio based on what device you're looking at, so that the remote participant always feels like they're just as connected as if they were in the room, even though they're a remote participant. So that's something that we're doing, I think, quite well, and that honestly has been some of the biggest feedback we've got from our customers is like, it's almost too good. Like I feel like I am being in the meeting and being in the room with the folks that are there. So that's really our challenge, is to continue to do that as we go forward.
So it sounds like, if even if I'm remote, I'm still looking everyone in the eye, right? I'm still at eye level. And I'm also, everybody can see me and my facial expressions, and I'm catching everybody else's facial expressions and gestures as well, because that could be a big part of the conversation.
And I mean, I there's a lot of statistics that are out there around body language, right? And honestly, some of the feedback we get is your cameras are so good, it is kind of scary, because sometimes when we have uncomfortable meetings, you see everybody's facial
You
expressions.
see me
But
fidgeting
that's
if you're saying something I don't like.
yeah, exactly. Or, just thinking about, sometimes like I think of my background, I was at a global manufacturing company and I had teams in France and Germany and Italy.
Mhm.
I speak very fast, right? I speak kind of English slang, and that doesn't always translate for folks who don't speak English in the native tongue. So I could actually use this technology to see like the facial expressions of like, I could kind of see like the eyes squint, like they're trying to think about what I said and really process that. Where then it's like that's a just a visual cue for me that I need to slow down and pay attention and ensure that like my remote audience is engaged and that I am speaking very fluid for them, because it is a challenge, right? So I do think like that has really helped us when we're thinking about some of our global customers, is it really does help from that perspective, because we just, I mean, let's face it, we're a fast-paced culture, right? We're always moving between meetings and it's just like how much stuff can I get in a given day? You've got to be kind of like cognizant of that. And I think what we do with our video technology, it really helps with those folks that are remote.
So, Brian, we've talked a lot about the user perspective, but what about IT? What about creating that consistent, easy experience for our IT teams? How does Need help with that?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that comes down to, when we first started the company, we made it a very simple out of the box experience. And then the result was, I had a lot of neat devices in a lot of different rooms, and people were asking us like, how do I manage this, right? And that's really where we kind of developed and rolled out our Neat Pulse management platform. And what that does is it gives both our customers and our partners the ability to manage your global Neat deployments. So I can go in there and I can basically build my rooms, enroll my devices, have a very easy to use user interface, so I can kind of see all of those devices. I can then manage things like I can use configuration profiles. If I want to have certain settings consistent across all my rooms, like one of the things we didn't talk about is we have voice isolation, for example. And it's really to limit a lot of that distracting noise that you hear, the dogs barking, papers ruffling, things like that, right? We can turn that on in a configuration profile and apply it to every single room that you enroll in your Pulse tenant. Then we also have the ability to centrally manage and deploy all of our updates. So I can go in there and I can look at things like how many of my devices are running the previous version, which ones do I want to maybe move to a preview version, right? And then which ones do I want to deploy or schedule the updates to happen on, maybe like a Friday night. Like some of our financial institutions, they're very rigid on their change advisory board. So they have a specific maintenance window that they can actually perform their updates in. So within Pulse, in the paid plan, they have the ability to go in and actually schedule those updates to happen during those maintenance windows. So that's been a big factor. But then behind the scenes of all of this, we have our open APIs. Okay. And the advantage to that is, like, for example, with with AVI SPL and the partnership that we have there, you guys have built that driver against Symphony so that you guys can manage your customers' Neat Pulse tenants. We have customers that are also using that, as well as partners who have done that, and they're using those APIs to extract data. And I'll give you a couple of examples of that because I think it's pretty relevant. So if I think of, some of our customers right now that are going through kind of like building refreshes and they're moving, right? They're getting asked questions of like, how much are my rooms being used? Do I need a 20-person room? Do I need a 10-person room? Right? And a lot of the times in the past, we've all kind of gone, I don't know, probably need like a 10-person room. Or we go back to the meeting calendar for that room and go, well, there's 20 people invited, usually 10, half of them show up. Well, what if we could give those users the ability to actually see true data around their room utilization? So all of the Neat devices have Neat Sense built into it. So we do the people count, the temperature, the humidity, and environmental controls, right? Using the APIs, and we can even use partners that we have that have developed these types of services through our Neat Open apps. They can extract that data, they can tie it to a floor plan, and they can show over the last 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, how much are those rooms being used? Is it 50%? Is it 100%? How many people are actually in there? Right? So that's one example. We also have some customers who are using that with their facilities and building management to basically provide insights into like, why doesn't that room get used? Well, it faces west, and at the end of the day, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the temperature goes way up, and nobody wants to go in there because we don't want people falling asleep, right? Because the temperature is so warm. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of great use cases that our customers can use, and we're building upon that to develop even further some of the things that we want to do to simplify even like our out of the box experience.
Yeah, and I like all the things, that Neat can track, and along with that, if you integrate that with Symphony, we can also track what's known as your simple assets, meaning your furniture, your chairs, your table. That room that never gets used, everything's working. Maybe the chairs are uncomfortable, maybe the chairs are too close to the table, I can't move around, so all interesting data, and I love that we started talking about those insights because I think IT is being asked for more and more data around room usage
Yes.
and ROI. So I think that's perfect. Great. So, Brian, a great conversation for our listeners. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to our listeners, if you want to take a deeper dive into Neat, we do have an upcoming webinar where we will actually be taking a tour, virtual tour of Neat's Experience Center. So join us for that. I'll put the notes to that in the show notes. And don't worry if you miss the live date, we will make it available on demand as well. So, Brian, thanks again. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and hope to see everybody on the upcoming webinar.
Absolutely. And if you want to learn more about Neat right now, you can visit avispl.com/neat.